Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex with my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. Today's episode is going to be brought to you by BetQL, our sponsor, and we're going to be discussing score prediction, a couple breakout players for this game on Sunday. If you haven't gotten tickets, I know there's some leftover tickets. I can't believe this game isn't sold out. Eli Manning's jersey retirement. People are just like, we suck, man. I don't want to go to this game. But I think we're going to win this game. I really do. And my score prediction will reflect that. And we want to talk about some big breakout players or really standout players for this game who we think will really step up to the challenge and help this Giants team overcome a really bad Falcons team. And as we've been saying, they are the worst defense in the NFL, allowing an average of 40 points per game through the first 2 weeks, including 48 last week. Matt Ryan threw 2 pick sixes. Not a good start to his year. Falcons offense is a mess. They're without Russell Gage, one of their top receivers. They're without 𝐒𝐽𝐻𝐿, their top cornerback. So, if 𝐁𝐞𝐭𝐪𝐥 is active, he should be able to take advantage of that matchup. But Anthony, before we dive into score predictions and a little couple other points for this game, how are you doing today, my friend?
I am doing really good. I am preparing to go on to a plane tonight. It got delayed a little bit. Forgot to tell you about that, Alex. Flight was delayed, but I'm still excited to get on that plane.
Hey, what time is it?
Fly up to New York. It's after 11. It's a late night flight now. It got delayed by 40 minutes.
Oh,
I think I'm bored. Yeah, I got delayed by 40 minutes. It's all right, though. Whatever. I'm going to fly up to New York. Yep. I'm going to get to Alex's apartment. I'm going to crash instantly on his couch, and then I'm going to wake up about 7 hours later, ready for some football, going to head over to New Jersey, go to the game tomorrow. I really am so excited. So excited for the Giants game, seeing Eli Manning get his jersey retired, and also really excited to meet many of you awesome fans in the parking lot. We're going to be tailgate hopping. We're going to go from one parking lot to the next parking lot. We're just going to go have a great time in the parking lot, have some fun, hang out with Alex and I if you feel like, and prepare for this game. It's going to be an awesome one. I really think that the Giants are going to win this. I'm starting to feel that positive energy, feel that Eli Manning energy is just coursing through my veins. I don't know. I'm feeling really good about this one, guys. I think, there's a few players that we're going to discuss today that should have some standout performances and lead to a Giant victory on Sunday.
Well, that's what we hope for, man. We're hoping for a big Giants victory on Sunday, in honor of Eli Manning and everything. Anthony, how excited are you to see Eli Manning, by the way, and really enjoy this kind of commencement ceremony for him?
I'm extremely excited. I think that I'm going to be screaming louder than those sirens in the background tomorrow when they unveil his jersey retirement ceremony. I think, they're probably going to play some really great footage of, his career highlights and everything. He'll probably go up there and speak. I might have some tears in my eyes, to be completely honest. Alex and I are sitting very close to the field. We're very close. We're in row 8. So it's going to be a really great time. And, being that close to the action, being that close to seeing Eli Manning while he gives whatever speech he gives and everything like that, it is definitely going to be a heartwarming moment. Definitely going to be an emotional moment for me, being such a big Eli Manning fan, knowing everything that he did for this franchise that I love so much. I grew up watching him. He was like a second father figure in my life, watching him play and just be such an excellent role model for the New York Giants. So, yeah, it's going to be a big moment for me tomorrow. I know it's going to be a big moment for Eli, and it's going to be a big moment for all the Giants fans in attendance, an emotional day, a happy day, and I'm very excited to see them take off the banner and reveal Eli Manning up in the stadium walls. That's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it too. And, I was thinking we'll probably live stream that commencement ceremony. I don't know if they're going to have it on television because usually halftime they're just playing advertisements and there's a halftime show, but maybe they'll show it. I'll stream it if you guys want live to the YouTube channel so you can watch it with us from the end zone. And any red zone opportunities that the Giants may have in our side, I will be recording all of them, obviously. So I will send them to you. I'll post them on Twitter so you get a good live view from us. We're right behind the field goal, so we're literally right there. It should be really fun. I'll be posting stuff throughout the game, any big moments and whatnot. So it should be a really good time. Also meeting some of you guys in the parking lot, having some beers, having some food, and getting ready for this. I know a lot of people are going into the stadium early, about 11, to try and get one of those Eli Manning bobbleheads. It's kind of stupid. They only have 25,000 of them. It's like a quarter of the stadium is going to get a bobblehead.
It's crazy. I can't believe that they limited them by that much. It should be for everyone in attendance.
Then you have to sit in there for 2 hours. It doesn't make any sense. Then you have to go in there and sit there doing absolutely nothing for 2 hours.
The bobbleheads are pretty freaking cool, though, I got to say. I really wish that we could get one, but we got to tailgate. We got to have fun. I don't want to just sit in the stadium for 2 hours with a bobblehead in my hand.
And then I got to sit there for 2 hours doing what? It's like watching nothing. I don't want to have to buy a $15 beer when I can get one for free outside. Right. Absolute nonsense in my opinion. But let's talk about a couple standout players, Anthony. A couple guys that really could make an impact in this game. And what we hope to see is a good performance from. And let's start with Daniel Jones. That is my number one player I think is going to have a really good game. He's the number 4, I think, ranked fantasy football quarterback right now with a lot of points, over 20 points per game right now. He had a touchdown last week on the ground, a touchdown through the air. And, when you're looking at Darius Slayton dropping that ball, it could have been a lot more. He could have had an even better day. Hopefully the Giants alleviate some of those mental screw-ups. If you blow a coverage, Daniel Jones, throw that ball, loft it as high as you can, give your receiver a better opportunity. There's a lot of things they can correct, but I think Daniel Jones, the running game is going to get going. Atlanta's passing defense is not good. The rushing defense are allowing 127 yards per game. Saquon Barkley, this is his good opportunity, his best opportunity to really get things going and show us that he is the running back that we can depend on week in and week out, because he's still getting back together from that knee injury, of course. And he wasn't even on the injury report yesterday. So that's a really good sign for Saquon that he wasn't on the injury report. And, you expect a guy coming off a significant knee issue like that to be on it every single week. But Anthony, when you're looking at Daniel Jones, what are you hoping to see from him? Maybe better reads, better progressions, maybe getting that read option still installed, maybe some more RPOs with Kenny Golladay and maybe Sterling Shepard. What are you expecting from him? What do you want to see from DJ in week 3?
I want to see some red zone success. I feel like the Giants haven't had much so far this year. They didn't have much at all last year. So I'd like to see Daniel Jones put together a long drive, get them in the red zone, and score. Get some points out of that. I know last week he had that long touchdown run called back, but the Giants still got the ball back in the red zone. They had a chance to score. They weren't able to execute. So I just want to see better red zone execution because Daniel Jones has been playing well. I want to see him continue to keep the football clean. No turnovers last week. Let's do that again this week. If he can do that again this week, defense can play a little bit better. Giants should be able to win this game. Usually games are about winning the turnover battle. And for Daniel Jones, that's been the struggle of his career so far. But last week, it wasn't a struggle. That was easy for him. I mean, he just looked really good out there, really clean with the ball. He knew when the pressure was coming. He sensed it, put 2 hands on it, held on to it. He slid when he was running. He didn't just try and run through people again. And he didn't throw any really errant passes that could have been picked off. So really clean game from him last week. So this week, I want to see him keep the ball clean again, have multiple games in a row with 0 turnovers. That's been a challenge. So let's see him do that this week. And then also some execution in the red zone, get some points on the board and start to really turn this thing around by getting a win. High scoring game, hopefully for the Giants offense. I'd really like to see them get to the red zone and convert for once.
Yeah, I think that's a great factor to point out. The red zone offense has been very lackluster. They have a really tough time, let alone getting to the red zone and then converting in the red zone. I drew up a picture a couple weeks ago, and I think it was in week 1, and Jason Garrett just doesn't use space available. That's one of his biggest flaws, in my opinion. He doesn't use a lot of the space that the field is giving him. He tries to condense things within 10 yards, and it really clusters. It creates a lot of traffic and attention in a specific area. Spread the offense out, send guys to specific portions. Not everything has to be at the sticks. Not everything has to be at the goal line. Run a fade route, Kenny Golladay, put some air under it and let him go up and get one 50-50. I'm pretty confident he will come down with it. Kyle Rudolph, same thing. The Giants have the opportunity to really take advantage here, and they don't convert enough anyway. You might as well take some risks and shots in the end zone and see what happens and really try and get more confident. That's the thing. Daniel Jones, I feel, lacks a little bit of confidence in the red zone because he doesn't throw a lot of red zone touchdowns. A lot of his touchdowns are Darius Slayton go routes and Sterling Shepard 25-yard crossers that he takes to the house. None of them are really red zone touchdowns. And I think the Giants need to get more efficient, at least get him some momentum and confidence in that category specifically. But I also think that Sterling Shepard is going to have a big game here. Kenny Golladay, of course, on the injury report with a hip issue. Again, Falcons defense, really, really vulnerable, especially against good receivers. Sterling Shepard having a career year so far. I think he gets a touchdown in this game. I'm starting him in fantasy. I'm starting Daniel Jones, by the way, too. I think the Giants offense is really going to pick it up. Really, really put a good game. It's going to be beautiful, like 75 degrees, sunny all day long. This is the day to do it, man. Reset the clock. This is the day to beat the shit out of Falcons and really reset the season and really hopefully kick it off on a good note as we get ready for a really tough portion of the schedule. But what would you like to see more from Sterling Shepard? I want to see a little bit more pre-snap motion. I want to see them getting him into space, really trying to expose those matchup combinations and whatnot. I think Shepard has done a really great job creating opportunities for himself, getting open, has phenomenal hands, doesn't drop many passes. But do you think that they should use him more in the red zone, or do you think they should be targeting those big guys in the red zone like Golladay and Rudolph? I still think Sterling Shepard's a great red zone threat.
Sterling Shepard is a premier red zone threat. If you look at his career statistics, I know last year he was like 9 for 9 on receptions and targets in the red zone. He had a couple touchdowns. He is a great red zone player because he's a very good intermediate route runner, and that's the shrunken part of the field. So all of the route running is intermediate. There's no deep route running. So he's very good at that, and he's also got excellent spatial awareness. So when you're talking about finding those open spaces in the end zone, that's where Sterling Shepard really thrives. He's able to find those spaces, find those little pockets in the zone defenses, and make some tough catches because he's also one of the best contested catch receivers for a slot guy or a smaller guy. He's really good at that kind of stuff. He's not your go up there and get it like Kenny Golladay is, but he can do everything that Kenny Golladay can't. He can be quick and underneath and find those little pockets in the zones and make those contested catches that way. So if there is something that I want to see more from Sterling Shepard, which really there isn't because he's been so phenomenal through 2 weeks, he actually looks like one of the best Giants receivers I've watched in some time. Like he looks phenomenal through these 2 weeks. But if there is any room for improvement, because there always is, I'd like to see him execute in the red zone, which is the same thing with Daniel Jones. Get Sterling Shepard more involved in the red zone because he is really good in that red zone area. So I'd love to see him get some more red zone targets, hopefully get some targets in the end zone where he can just go up there and make a catch because he is a very reliable receiver. I feel like if you throw it in his vicinity in the end zone, he's going to come down with it, contested or not. So that's basically what I want to see from Sterling Shepard. I think everything we've seen has been excellent. So not really that much room for improvement when you're playing that well. But again, this Giants offense needs to start getting into the red zone and executing. Sterling Shepard and Daniel Jones are both big parts of that.
Agreed. I think 2 honorable mentions. Saquon Barkley, I think he's going to have a good game. This is the game where the Giants need him to really show what he's capable of doing. This defense for Atlanta is really, really bad. If you cannot take advantage of them, you're going to have a hard time against any team. So I want to see Saquon Barkley feel a little bit more confident, make some cuts, make some good moves. He's capable of doing so, and I think this is a good opportunity for him to really increase that confidence level moving forward. And then the second guy, Andrew Thomas. I think Andrew Thomas is going to have a great game against the Falcons. Another good performance. I think he strung together 2 pretty solid performances against Washington and Denver. A third one would really start his season off on the right track. He would start off the season with us really thinking he is a bookend left tackle. He's taken a big step forward. He's gotten a lot better. The Giants don't need to worry about a left tackle, maybe a right tackle in the future, but they feel good about Andrew Thomas on the left side, protecting Daniel Jones or whatever quarterback's blind side for the future. But I think a nice game from him this week would really be a good opportunity to string together some momentum, start off the season strong, and really start to alleviate that narrative that he was a bust. Mekhi Becton out. I think he's really climbing the ranks in terms of being one of those top 4, tackles. Everyone compares those top 4, Jedrick Wills, Tristan Wirfs, Mekhi Becton, and Andrew Thomas. I think he's slowly starting to climb the ranks there and prove that he should be in the mix with those top guys. So I'm really excited about that, Anthony. What do you think about Saquon and Andrew Thomas really having good performances against the Falcons?
I think it's about time Saquon starts to turn it up, right? He's finally taken off the injury report, meaning he should be fully healthy or at least really close to 100%. So if that's the case, then I think he should be a greater focal point in this offense. The Giants have given him some handoffs, but they really haven't done anything creative with him. They've just given him some handoffs. Get him involved in the receiving game. Have him come out of the backfield as a pass catcher. Have him run some angle routes, some choice routes, stuff like that. Get him really involved in the passing game. And I think that he can kind of start to break out for his 3rd season so 4th season now. Wow, he's been in the league that long? This is 3rd year, 4th year? Dude, that's crazy to think about. Saquon Barkley's been in the league that long. Doesn't it feel like just yesterday the Giants drafted him? That is insane. But,
yeah,
I think it flew by because he was injured last year, right? So, he missed the full season. But, man, that just kind of took me by surprise thinking about that. But, yeah, I think they got to get him more involved in the passing game today, especially against this Atlanta Falcons defense that has really poor pass coverage. I understand Deion Jones is a very fast and very good linebacker that's probably going to be matched up against Saquon Barkley on those
terrible
receiving routes. But
112 receptions, 112 yards so far and a touchdown or 2 he's given up so far.
Yeah, he's struggling to start the year, which is crazy because if you remember 2 years ago, Deion Jones was like the pass coverage linebacker because of his speed. So I don't know. There's something going on in Atlanta. Maybe it's coaching. Something's going on there. They're just not doing a good job. Even their star players aren't playing well. Calvin Ridley hasn't even been much of a great factor like he was this year. So it's going to be interesting. And then, of course, I want to talk about Andrew Thomas as well. Who's he going up against? Dante Fowler Jr.? Okay. If he doesn't have a good performance, like there's no excuse for that. He should have another good performance. He's proven through 2 weeks that he is a good player, that he has taken a step forward. So let's see him continue to do that against Dante Fowler Jr. and the Atlanta Falcons defense this week. So I do agree with you. He is starting to climb those ranks. Mekhi Becton's injury had him drop a little bit. Andrew Thomas climbing up with those top 4 tackles taken in that draft class. And he's looked really good this year. You could probably argue that he's looked just as good as, the second guy on the list, 𝐁𝐿 Wills, I'd say. So he's been really good this year. I'm proud of Andrew Thomas and his development. Let's see him continue to have a good season and have some consistency in week 3 against the Falcons.
Yeah, and I hope Evan Ingram's playing, because Deion Jones is a just god-awful coverage linebacker. Allowed 371 yards and 6 touchdowns last year. He is awful as a coverage linebacker, allowed a 74% completion rate. He's had some decent years like in the past, but last year, not good. This year, not starting off so good either. So for the most part, this is a matchup. If the Giants have Evan Ingram, attack him, use athleticism, use that speed to attack him. But let's talk about the defense for a moment here. A couple players I think are going to stand out. I think this is Lorenzo Carter's game to really have that performance that he needs to get on track this season. He's been kind of quiet. He's had a couple pressures, a couple QB hits, but he hasn't really been that impact force that we've needed him to be in some of those big moments. When we need that guy to stand out and really take advantage of all that offseason work and whatnot. He's still coming back from the Achilles injury, so keep that in mind. I think this is the game. Week 3 is really that week where everyone's like, all right, we get it. We're in football shape. We're getting momentum. This is where you really put it all together. I think Lorenzo Carter has a big game here, has 2 sacks and a couple pressures, and I think that'll be a big, big performance for him. I also think that Adoree Jackson's going to have a big game. Calvin Ridley, he's going to beat up any cornerback. There's not many corners that he can really that can really hold Calvin Ridley down. I think he'll still have a decent game, but I think Adoree Jackson, the other side, is going to have a pretty solid performance. And for the most part, that's kind of the 2 players that I'm expecting to stand out: Lorenzo Carter, Adoree Jackson. I would even throw Darnay Holmes in there. He's actually had a pretty solid year to start, and I think that him stringing together another positive performance would be good. Honorable mention, I'm probably throwing in Blake Martinez. Again, the Falcons don't really have the best running game with Mike Davis, who's really a backup. So we are going to be up against our old friend Wayne Gallman. So hopefully we'll see him and be able to give him a couple cheers.
Totally. And I'm actually going to throw out one more honorable mention. I'm going to say James Bradberry. I think he's really struggled through the first 2 weeks, but he's very aware of that. He's starting to hear the buzz, hear the criticism from fans. It's gotten to Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham was questioned about it as well. So I think he's going to have a huge bounce back performance. Calvin Ridley, if you look at his stats through 2 games, he's getting plenty of targets. He had 8 targets in week 1 and 10 targets in week 2. 18 targets through 2 games is a huge number. But if you look at his yards per target, it's really low. It's at 6.38 in week 1 and 6.30 in week 2. If you look at his yards per target throughout his career, it has never been below 8.9. Last year, it was 9.6. Right now, it's 6.3. That's horrible. It's way low. So there's something really going on with the Falcons offense. I expect there to be a lot of short passing in this Falcons offense. Maybe not see them challenge us as vertically as you might expect with some playmakers like this, but they're just not slinging the ball downfield. Calvin Ridley is not getting deep targets, which is really confusing considering the speed that he has and the route running capabilities that he has. But throughout these 2 games, he has 1 touchdown and only 9.5 yards per reception. So not really some high numbers there. Last year, he had 15.3 yards per reception. So keep that in mind. He's not playing as well. He's not getting deep targets. It's going to be James Bradberry and Adoree Jackson and Calvin Ridley. I think both of them have an opportunity here to bounce back after kind of a struggle of 2 weeks. And then, of course, you mentioned Lorenzo Carter. If he pulls out a dud on this game, I think that we can kind of just say, all right, it's not going to work out, because this is a game where he needs to start turning it on as soon as possible. And this is a game where he really should be able to. The Falcons don't have that great of an offensive line. It's actually really not good at all. So he really needs to show up or show out, because this is an important game for the Giants, and it's an important game for our defense. It's kind of a get-right game for our defense. Through 2 weeks, they've been really bad. They were great last year. Time to bounce back. Lorenzo Carter missed all of last year. He wasn't even part of that great defense. So hopefully he can bounce back and turn this around and make this a better defense than it is right now, because right now it's just not cutting it.
Yep, I agree. I think, in 24 hours from now, 22 hours from now, we're going to see a team that is hungry, that wants to win, that wants to show out for Eli Manning's retirement game, for that jersey retirement. I'm really excited, guys. This is a must-win, in my opinion. By all means, by all accounts, this is a must-win game for the Giants, because if you lose against the Falcons, there's not many other teams that are as bad as this team. You know what I mean? We might be one of them. This is a team that has a terrible defense. Their offense is prone to self-inflicted wounds. You just got to play your game, man. No coaching mishaps, no bad decisions, no throwing the challenge flag on a touchdown. You got to just play clean football, execute, do your job. That's it. No extracurricular activities, no roughing the passers. Play clean football, get the job done, and do what you got to do without making too many mistakes. Of course, mistakes are you can't avoid them, but you can limit them. So that's what the Giants need to do. Discipline football, Joe Judge. I know you preach discipline. We haven't seen it through the first 2 weeks. Let's put together a good football game that we're proud of, and we can walk away saying, we brought the Giants' first win of the season. Let's freaking go, guys. Let's freaking go. So I'm hyped, guys. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. I'll be posting stuff throughout. We'll go live during the commencement ceremony. We'll do some live stuff as well, and I'll be posting throughout the game any red zone opportunities and big plays that I do happen to capture on my phone. But make sure to have a fantastic weekend. It's absolutely beautiful in New York today and tomorrow on Sunday. So make sure to go outside, enjoy that with some family and friends. Have a barbecue. The winter's coming, fall is coming. Enjoy the weather while it lasts, my friends, because we know how bad that New York winter is. Make sure to subscribe below on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube as always, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow during the game. For our score predictions, I am going with the Giants winning this game 35-23. I think they're going to blow them out for the most part. Anthony has 35-28 Giants. So a 30-plus performance game would be pretty awesome. Hopefully we can accomplish that, guys. Let us know what your score predictions are below on the YouTube channel. Really excited to see what you guys think, if they can breach 30 points, and what we're going to see from this Giants team, because for the most part, this is a must-win game.